Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick.
Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
Please stand for the national anthem of Scotland. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Norway. Starting line up for Scotland. Number 24, Andrew Lindsay. Number 25, Tobias Cleaver-Ross. Number 27, Will McLeish. Number 33, Daniel McQuaid. Number 46, Ben Matthews. Number 51, Reece Jeffrey Duncan. And number 97, Elias Cross. And for Norway, we've got number 1, Edvard Jomberg. Number 5, Jacob Thomas Trainer. Number 7, Einar Cornelius Crowley Ausbach. Number 11, Joachim Kongal Jensen. Number 13, Andreas Vandergaard Yeaden. Number 19, Robin Sitter. Number 21, Lars Linde Hendrickson. Number 23, Andrew Scott Buck. Number 28, Emil Nanster. Number 55, Torbjorn Sam Halverson.
So he wanted to, so I don't know. Thanks, man.
One number change that row. Because they had 219, so he's 18.
Okay, welcome here, Lex TV. Marty Horkin, along with Fraser Hunter for today's game. We have Norway and Scotland today on field 2.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game for both sides. Both had strong opponents in their first game yesterday. Norway defeating Portugal 9-8 final score. Really solid team display from them. And Scotland falling short to a very strong Swiss side with an 8-6 final score there. So both teams definitely looking to kick on and get a win here, and both have got a high talent pool to help them achieve that. So it'll be a really interesting matchup, and I'm very excited to see what happens.
Yeah, Fraser, I am too. I find both talented teams out here, both in close contests yesterday. Had a chance to see the Scottish team the other day in a scrimmage, and I know you got a chance to see them firsthand yesterday as well, and Norway. So this on paper, and it just seems it'll be a very competitive matchup, and looking forward to it. We have a little bit of rain here in Wrocław today. We just got finished with a rousing rendition of Scotland the Brave that Scotland comes out to with their bagpiper. National anthems have been played, lineups have been called, and we're just awaiting the opening face-off of this game.
Yeah, I think this is a sort of heightened moment where you just got to control those emotions. You see the face-off units in the middle of the field there talking to one another, just calming each other down, getting ready for this matchup. It's going to be Aidan Smith taking that first face-off. He had a good showing yesterday against the Swiss. Across the game yesterday, I know Scotland went just over 60% on the face-off, and I think Norway in the first half yesterday were very dominant, and Portugal really had to switch things up to try and beat them. So two very talented face-off units for both sides, and it's going to be a battle out there.
And in looking at the box scores from yesterday, noticed that Scotland had lots of shots on goal, only had 6 goals yesterday. High save percentage for Switzerland, but also sort of just I would like to think that they'll want to cash a few more of those in today. I'd hope for them.
Definitely. I had a little chat with Matt Bagley, head coach, yesterday afternoon after the game, and there was a feeling of a bit of heartache knowing that they were doing the right things, they were working those shots but just not finishing it. So it'll definitely be wanting to get firing today and convert some of those shots. Interesting one with Matt Bagley. I think those watching at home will be shocked to know that he does in fact not have his famous Oakleys on today. I think that's a sign of the nice little overcast, but I'm sure if the sun comes out, those Oakleys will definitely make an appearance on the sideline. We're going down now for this opening face-off. It's a big win there for Scotland. They just want to get the ball, but
we have someone left early over here, so we're going to have a procedure violation by Norway. Should be going Scotland's ball.
Yeah, they sort of got off lightly there. Obviously, Aidan won the draw, got it back, and Seb Howarth just a little bit too relaxed on the ground ball, but they've got the ball now.
And I think that his inability to pick up that ground ball on a first attempt right there prompted the Norwegian player to step out of the box, so that's why we had the procedure violation. It's going to go to Scotland.
Definitely, we're looking at a strong starting 6 out here for the Scotland attack. Jack Crawley, Tom Gilbrook, Christian McKinnon, Elias Cross, Matt Raworth, and of course Dan McQuaid, who got the first 2 goals for Scotland yesterday. We'll be looking to add a few more to the tally. Just getting it round, they're in a 1-4-1 look here. Captain Tom Gilbrook initiating. Kicks it up to his club teammate, Jack Crawley. Christian McKinnon comes inside, nice little pop. Norway come.
Then we have a flag on the play.
It's a cheap early penalty for Scotland. I think he's a little bit unlucky there, Elias.
Yep, they're going to go 30 seconds on a hold, and it'll be Norway ball.
They looked active in that first attack, Scotland.
Yeah, it was actually a nice little look there. We had a little sort of a hinge pass right there, sort of fake the shot, hinge pass, just, didn't connect.
One thing I think we'll see throughout this game is Scotland likes to be quite aggressive on a man down. Sitting in quite tight here, but particularly on those 30-second penalties, they like to put the pressure on and really stop the shooters.
Yeah, sometimes pushing out will get them out of their comfort zone.
There it is. There's that level of aggression, and
And
dropped pass.
you can see the wet field there.
Norway did have quite a nice looking man-up attack yesterday.
Off the pipe there. There'll be no over and back here. It's a shot. Nice ground ball.
Elias, who's just come back on from his penalty, comes up with that one, and they're breaking now. Scotland finds Scott Wallace midfield. Scott Wallace, a late addition to this team. The player having to pull out just before the tournament, but I know he'll be over the moon to be here. Ethan Swenson with the shot. What a
nice save.
Bit of a breakdown from the poles there, but get the ball up the field.
Yeah, Janberg with a nice save there, and Norway looks to clear.
Ball still with Grundar Oates. He just moves it on there.
And Gundar actually had 2 goals and 2 assists in yesterday's matchup against Portugal.
He looked a very strong two-way midfielder and definitely had a big impact on this team. I think one thing we'll see quite prominently in this game is the patience of this Norwegian attack. They like to get it moving. They rely heavily on off-ball movement and some big cuts. And you know, one goal of note yesterday, they played offense for a 6-minute straight stint, subbed their midfield out midway through and really ground down that Portuguese defence, and it's that same approach, I'd imagine, that patience that they'll be looking for today.
And if you hear some music coming through the microphone here, we have a sort of a sound stage next to us. They're doing a sound check for some venue that they have right next to us, so might be enjoying some music coming through.
Apologies in advance if I start singing along.
I see what you say here, this deliberate offense, though, sort of possess. Oh, no, as I say that, we're going to have an over and back potential here.
Great fight from Elias Cross there.
Numbers.
Kicks it inside, Dan McQuaid.
That's a great look right there, excellent job.
That is a fantastic fast break goal there for Scotland. Obviously the little fight on the halfway line from Elias Cross. A little interesting fact for him, he was actually recruited for college as a face-off guy, so he's got that dog in him and wins the ball for his team and just finds Dan McQuaid on the crease for a nice little easy look. That's what he does.
And who knows, hopefully he doesn't, but that could serve to be beneficial when you have that face-off experience, you know, in a limited roster spots that you have. You know, if anyone's ever, you know, dinged up or tired, they can always give them a breather and maybe go back to that if you needed to. Some teams are relying on having one face-off guy and that's all they have, and then you're in trouble if anything happens with these 22-man rosters.
Certainly, I mean, anything can happen.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Scotland today, down 2 players. Through injuries picked up yesterday, hopefully they'll be back to their best and fighting again later this week. But the coaching staff just deciding to sit out Dougie Toonian and Christopher Willocks today.
Ooh, nice body check there. Absorbing it, though.
It's another thing I noticed with this Norwegian team yesterday is they've got that fight in them when it comes to clearing the ball and riding it as well. They really are prepared to put their bodies on the line and do everything they can to get that ball over into their attack.
Yeah, that was impressive there. We had that loose ball, heavy checks, you know, a couple of long pulls, laying the lumber, as they say, and excellent job to absorb that and retain possession for Norway.
Good little dodge over the top there, and there's that backside feed.
Ooh.
Gets the shot off.
Pipe.
It's a scrappy one, but they all look the same on the score sheet. That's Sean Martin Hamburger with the ground ball and the quick finish from a little bit of a scrappy ground ball, but
that was a strong left-handed dodge though, and a nice little feed across to the crease man, and then he sort of absorbed that, curled and was going, hit the pipe, but they picked up the loose ball and put it in. Excellent goal by Norway.
Indeed. One apiece. Reece Jeffrey Duncan coming out for his first face-off of the day. It's actually his birthday at the end of next week, so he'll be hoping that the team can do well and he can celebrate. Turns 57. Sorry, no, 34. He is an old.
You had me for a second there.
He is an old boy though. He's been around the Scotland team since 2012. First played at the U19 World Championships and also the Euros the same summer. Since played in a couple World Championships and another Euros in Budapest. So there's a level of experience that this team needs, mixed in with the young guys they've got. Still a fight for this ground ball here, and Seb Howarth, one of the captains for Scotland, comes up with that.
Timeout on the field.
It's a good call from the
It's an excellent
coaches.
timeout.
You know, in the first.
And remember, folks, if anyone's new to lacrosse here, you have 2 timeouts per half, and they don't carry over from the first half to the second half. So you have to call it with possession in international play, potentially on a dead ball, I guess, out-of-bounds situation as well. But oftentimes you'll see when a coach deems that they might lose possession, or something, in that case, maybe a long pole who's gone over midfield and about to absorb some pressure. Timeout was an excellent call right there.
Yeah, I think, we're just about halfway through this first quarter. It's been a bit up and down. Just an opportunity to retain possession and just bring your team in and just go, look, let's calm down, let's settle into this a little bit more.
And I know you mentioned earlier knowing some of the coaching staff on Scotland. I actually know Chris Hetler as well. He's in saying hello to everyone up there in New Hampshire in the Derryfield School, where he's a coach and has had a very successful program. He's also a member of the New Hampshire Tomahawks, so he's someone I've known for several years. Really great lacrosse mind, played goalkeeper at Colgate himself. An excellent addition to this.
Taught him everything he knows.
Let's hope he has it on display and pumps a few in for you today.
They like to initiate from the side here, Scotland team, and it is Morgan Brown kicking it through to Matt Roworth. He finds Christian McKinnon with a nice hitch over the top. Morgan Brown goes for it. Oh, just some heavy defence and
nice ride here. Crease. Yeah, out and in. Yep.
it's unfortunate, but he's been bumped into the crease by his own player, and Scotland will get the ball back.
And that's one of those instances.
Now back at Poynton. That's
nice
a great look.
Beauty
And
right
there's
there.
fantastic play. Christy McKinnon with a little hitch, split over the top, and he finds that cut back door from Morgan Brown, and that's what I taught him.
I'll tell you, Morgan with that quick stick finish, that's an excellent finish. Pretty goal by Scotland.
He really is a bit of a utility player, Morgan. He can do it in offence, he can do it in defence, and he's a bit of a multi-tool for this Scotland coaching staff to utilise, and they've obviously seen him as a look on this play, and it's worked out after a great little bit of patience and a good little move from Christy McKinnon. 2-1.
He does look like that prototypical two-way guy, good size in terms of his height, and looks like a strong young man, so good for him.
Great face-off from Aidan Smith there. Aidan Smith used to play rugby sevens for Jamaica. This is his second outing for Scotland after playing in San Diego 2 years ago. Actually learnt to face this cycle. He was in San Diego as a short stick D-midi. Dan McQuaid just kicking it out now. It's Tom Gilbrook on the ball. Fun fact about Tom Gilbrook, they actually call him Tiny Hands Tom. He actually wears 10-inch gloves.
Imagine.
10-inch gloves, but unfortunately for him, the gloves were ordered before the final selection, so he's got size 13s because that's what everyone else wanted, and he's just had to stuff the fingers, so a little bit of adjustment for him. But
I know, I'd rather have him be a little tighter than a little loose. I mean, frankly, I have a big hand, so I find that having jamming into a slightly smaller would feel a little bit better than a small hand going in a big glove, but I'm sure he'll make do. And
certainly, he is another veteran of the Scotland team. As I say, he is one of the captains for this tour. He first played in Budapest in 2016. After that was with them in Netanya, Israel. He's played for the box team. He's also part of the GB setup, so a lot of experience to bring. It's Matt Roworth with the dodge. Kicks it out. That's a great look, but just can't get it. Ethan Swenson coming up with it now.
Ooh,
it's physical defense.
Right there, I think almost his athleticism and balance. Maybe, beautiful. Great take.
It's a great stop.
Get a push.
Loose ball push. It was a great little look. I think going back to Ethan Swenson's physicality, actually, he's officially the most athletic player on the Scotland team. Finished highest in the fitness tests, and it showed there.
I was going to
bouncing off
say,
his
had he
defender.
not been athletic, he might have fallen right there, and you might have had a trip or a push or something. You know, it's almost like he stayed up. He was disadvantaged slightly, but his athleticism pulled him through. So he might be facing a man-up situation had he gotten down. But nice effort.
Spreading this defense really wide. I think that's something that they will have seen in the scout yesterday. You know, this Norwegian defense likes to be aggressive on ball, and Christian McKinnon with a big shot.
Oh,
Can't get it to go.
nice ground ball there.
Good luck. And Dan McQuaid with his second of the day.
Nice work.
The Scotland Piper, Uncle Dan, with a big top corner finish on the crease there. Great little feed from Elias Cross. He gets his second assist for Dan McQuaid.
And the key to that was that ground ball, I think, by, was it 97 do we have there?
Yeah. Elias Cross.
Elias Cross, excellent ground ball right there, and that really, you know, helped in getting that goal for Scotland. So we were now stand at 3-1 Scotland.
Yeah, and Norway just taking a time out, trying to regroup here after Scotland get a little 2-goal run on the go. Certainly looking like they're feeling it a little bit more than yesterday, Scotland. And some of the nerves have been shaken.
And yesterday, I believe you were saying that in Norway's game that they jumped out to a lead early and then sort of...
Yeah, it was.
a battle.
I think they went 6-1 up in the second quarter, and then Portugal, you know, through the helpings of Michael Hawkins in attack, who had a fantastic game, really brought it back in that second half, and the score finished 9-8, as I mentioned earlier. But you know, it just shows this Norwegian team's got a run of goals in them, and they want to find it early here, and not let that Scotland run continue. In the sticks today for Scotland, they've gone with Tobias Cleaver-Ross. Another one of the Scotland skippers, his second outing for the national team. Little fun fact about him, he actually has 2 Strava accounts so that he can give himself kudos when he does a run, which I think is a level of self-belief which resonates in his game, and I'm all for it. Lovely guy and really passionate about the sport. He does a lot behind the scenes for Scotland lacrosse, so well-deserved captaincy, and hopefully he'll have a big game today, make a big impact for his side.
So coming out of the timeout, ready to go again. We'll have face-off.
Nice little showing of fans on the sideline here for both sides. It's good that despite the weather, people have made the trip out to come and watch.
It's actually handy here in the stadium here at Rutzwoff. They have tents so that people can sort of stay out of the rain or potentially the sun, if that's the case, which may be the case later next week.
Nice little kick from Callum Barrett
Absolutely.
there. Out to Aidan Smith, who's just going to get it down.
Ooh,
oh, it's
unfortunate
wayward
right
pass.
there.
Little Dan just too small for that one.
Yeah, those are the little sort of, you know, settled situation right there. You'd like to just get the ball, settle it. Unfortunate turnover.
They want a big ride to try and get it back here. Matt Roweth just chasing down the ball. Just let the pole go. It's a great clear from Norway, recognising that attacker didn't want to go over.
Pole's going. That's a nice take.
It's a big stop from Toby.
Absolutely.
It's a great ground ball from Will McLeish, but he gets a big hit on him.
No push there.
Play on from the officials.
I mean,
I think he did go over a little bit soft there.
yeah, I might ask how I ended up on the other side of the field if I was cross right there. You know, he didn't really go on his own accord. He sort of might have been pushed, but
Yeah.
referee didn't see it that way.
Talked earlier about how this Norway team wants to be patient with the ball. They want to get it spinning, so we will see how they fare in this attack. I imagine they want to give the defence a little bit of a break and keep the ball a little bit longer. Say that as they go to goal. Skip it through, that's unlucky. It's a great look. That's the little dangerous backdoor. It's hardly a cut, it's more like a pop that they do so well, and just draw the attention with those big alley dodges and being aggressive with picks on ball. Just frees up the person back door, and almost got one there.
And they're almost trying to find, as that sort of the first slide is coming from the crease, usually in the second slide it's coming from that spot where they're sort of vacating. That's where they were looking to get that ball. So nice little scheme drawn up by Norway.
Indeed. And one thing we saw yesterday as well, Norway were very aggressive on their rides and they won the ball back a lot. Portugal really struggled to clear. So seeing it here, they're really slowing down this Scotland clear. Drew Lindsay gets it across though. He plays out at St. John's and he takes a shot.
It's a nice attempt right there.
It's unfortunate.
I think pole goals, you know, when that long stick in
He's
that
wide
case comes
open
over,
on the crease.
those are some of the more exciting plays you can have.
Certainly, and I know Scotland defensive coach Lou Cunio emphasises the importance of pole goals and more importantly celebrating it to bring that hype for the attack, and almost got one, Drew.
Yeah, those are energy plays.
Jack Crawley, he was quiet yesterday, but nice little textbook Jack Crawley split dodge and just a little grip in a rip top corner.
That was an athletic run right there. Nice dodge, hard, strong dodge to his dominant right hand on the run, and too much for the keeper.
Certainly, he's a player that's been around this Scotland setup for a number of years. First played out in Netanya, and it's been a big player for the squad ever since. Always comes up with goals, and he was shut out yesterday, which I know he was a bit frustrated about, but it's good for him to get one early on in this game and to give him that confidence to hopefully kick on in this tournament now. Be the player that Scotland know he can be. It's a great face from Rhys Jeffrey Duncan. Goes for the goose. It's not to be. 4-1 at the end of the first quarter. It's been a good little battle up and down. Some hard-fought ground balls in the midfield, which Scotland have just got the better of so far, which is why we've got them in the lead, 4-1.
Yeah, some nice play, like you said, the deliberate offense by Norway. You know, they've spread that ball around, they get it spinning. They've had a couple of good looks, but Scotland seems to have just maybe carried a little bit more of the offense, had more attempts. They've sort of been getting aggressive, getting some sort of fast break opportunities, and also the face-off they've been doing a good job with as well, Scotland.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one area of the game that when it's a close-fought battle, that's what decides it, is the face-off. That being said, as I said earlier, Scotland went up 64%, I think, yesterday on the face-off, and you know, a couple of those losses were for illegal procedures as well. So, although it does have a heavy impact on the score, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win. But they have been very strong on it today, and it's showing in the scoreline. To our right, just warming up, we've got Israel and Portugal. Israel's first outing in this tournament. They're always a strong side in the European Championship. So
yeah, and I'll say, just having looked through their roster, I actually know a few individuals on that team. Sasha Gannon's one. I went to high school with my son at Belmont Hill School. He played at Dickinson, who actually made it to the Division III National Championship last year, but he's, I know, an excellent player, and they have definitely, their roster is dotted with some quality players.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how much they've trained together and how well their systems click early on in this tournament. That Portugal side are quite physical, they've got some big defenders, but going forward they've got some really shifty attackers, so hopefully that'll be a good little match-up for any viewers that want to tune in after this game.
And the game that started prior to our game on the main field, on field 1, we had Bulgaria and England are going at it over there. A lot of action going on here in Wrocław. We have, like we said, we have a sort of a quasi-concert to our side here. We have 3 games potentially going on shortly here. But we have a good one right here with Norway and Scotland. Scotland leading 4-1 after 1 quarter. We're ready to start the second, and here's the face-off.
Yeah, it's Jeffrey Duncan coming out for the Scotland team. Alex Harper on this near side wing. He's actually come back from a couple of ACL surgeries, so it's great to see him hitting the field again for Scotland. Really physical D-midi that brings a lot of passion for this team, and Jeffrey Duncan wins it, kicks it down.
Ooh, nice. That's a great check right there.
It's a big hit on Matty Raworth. It's unfortunate. It's not often you see him on that lefty side. He's naturally a righty, as I mentioned. Did plays lacrosse at Wembley Lacrosse Club for a year when he could be bothered turning up. now plays back at Poynton.
That was one of those situations where here we could have a hit right here. Nice. That's a
Great little
attempt.
ride from Alex Harper, but his poles come forward again. It's number 21, Lars Henriksen.
And I'm not sure if it's the case, but on the stat sheet it mentioned that Lars had 2 goals yesterday, so that would have been pretty big if he in fact did, with 2 pole goals potentially.
Yeah, I think he actually got the opening goal yesterday, which was off a well-worked ride. Big save from Toby there. That's
nice
a great
inside roll
move
right there. That was a nice little take.
Andreas Eden was quite the player. The ball went through him quite a lot yesterday.
And he had a great ground ball right there to maintain possession for them.
Definitely. Another player to watch here, Andrew Buck, just on the ball there, number 23. He got 2 assists and a goal yesterday. He was shifty off ball and moved it well.
Some stout defense right here at the short stick D. I like that. Nice job. Swinging it well. We have a flag on that one, though.
Takes the chop.
One too many, maybe, right there. I like the aggressiveness, though. So the flag down.
One thing that... That's a great save.
Great save. Excellent save.
I was about to say, one thing that Lou Cunho likes to preach is what he calls FUD, and it's just be out, be aggressive, let's be physical on them. Really let them know you're there and send a message, and it's exactly what Seb Howarth did there. We saw the same with Will McLeish on the backside, just being on hands and just getting physical.
So that call ended up being a 30-second technical on a hold. So Norway will be man up for 30 seconds. I thought they were going to go slash on that. So
did I.
Some might be pleased that they only sort of brought that down to a 30-second hold as opposed to 1 minute
Toby
slash.
being aggressive on the backside there. Almost punished for it, but shot goes wide from Andrew Buck. One thing that's great about this Norway side as well is they're all domestic players. They all play together regularly, which is why they've got that synergy. And it's unlucky Toby comes up with it. The ride's hard, but Cal Barrett with it. Finds Ben Matthews. Scott Wallace with it now. He's got some speed in those legs.
Nice wheels here.
Moves it very well.
Wearing number 99, that was a good lacrosse number, I think.
Indeed.
Paul Rabel wore that for a little bit in the PLL, MLL days.
Dan McQuaid just slowing it down.
A little hidden ball trick right here.
It's been a regular in this Scotland team for a while as well, Dan McQuaid. Plays his lacrosse out in Canada, but he's firmly rooted in this domestic game. Comes across really regularly, trains with the boys, and he's got family in Glasgow, so big locker room guy as well, great personality to have around. He sets a pick for Christian McKinnon now. Moves it well to Tom Gilbrook. Tiny hands Tom. Matt Raworth looks up top.
That's a nice little grab right there.
It was passed just a little bit lower than it wanted, but McKinnon's got some good handles and retains for his team.
The rain seems to have subsided here a little bit, but you never know. Sometimes those sticks get wet. You know, you can get a little bit of whip in that stick, and sometimes the throws aren't exactly the way you'd like them to be. Make some adjustments.
Dan McQuaid trying to go on the shorty there. Moved it well, but it's just out of bounds.
It's a nice ball movement right there, but errant pass, it'll go out of bounds.
They're the sort of passes they want to shake out early in this second quarter and really make those offensive possessions count. Just getting the freedom to run there. Kicks it over the top. Nice little clear again.
Was a nice clear.
Robin Sitter, the recipient of that pass. They do really well at working it down the sides, Norway, with the poles. Poles all seem pretty handy with the ball in the sticks. Joe Kerrison up, being aggressive, playing really high here and just sending him down the alley. Big body. And Will McLeish fills in. Joe just recycling.
About a third of the way through the second quarter right now.
Andrew Buck.
Nice job.
Just gets stripped by Drew Lindsay. Getting up the field with it, finds Joe Kerrison.
Pole-to-pole pass there.
Joe Kerrison dishes it. Dan McQuaid, he's already got 2 today. He finds McKinnon to Elias Cross. Just Pulls it out.
Flag
We've
on
got
the
a
play.
flag on the play. Jussie McKinnon just telling him to slow it down, pull it out there. I want to use this opportunity off the flag. Tom Gilbrook with a shot, it's blocked. That's a bit of a muffin from Tom Gilbrook.
Yeah, it was almost maybe, it seemed like he wanted to get the man up started or something. I'm not sure what that was, but interesting too. And, I come from a North American background. I live in the United States playing lacrosse, and so interesting when there was a flag down situation here. If you're inside this sort of scoring area under the restraining box, if you step out, it kills the play. If the ball goes down, it kills the play.
We've got an early start here. Jack Crawley
geez.
just getting given the easiest goal of his life. Some real breakdown in communication. I was just about to say that the ref seemed like he was waiting for the Norwegian players to come in before he restarted there.
Right.
But even when they got in, they weren't looking. The ref signalled where the ball was, and Jack Crawley just steps in for an absolute crease crank in the back of the net. That's his second of the
Now, am
day.
I correct in the thought that if they're changing, getting man up, man down, teams on the field, they have to sort of sub one for one on that?
Yes.
So that's a change from what sort of I'm used to, whereas we'll have a dead ball sort of situation, and you can sort of sub liberally on and off. So I know that's something that I have to get used to because I officiate back in the States, and it's a little bit of a different look. So
yeah, they're
learning
they're
all the time.
Really hot on it in the international game.
Yeah.
We saw the opening game, Poland versus the Czechs. There was a lot of penalties for illegal subs, and the officials really trying to stamp that out. Great fight from Jeffrey Duncan.
Here we go, getting physical here. Nice kick here.
Seb Howard just nice and easy with it. Oh, it's a wayward pass though. Goes out of bounds. I don't know if it was tipped by the Norwegian player. It was. The ball goes blue. Got away with it there, Scotland.
Oh, now they're switching that, I think.
Emma Jones, the official on the near side, just as confused as we are. Ball is white. They'll want one here, Norway. Swinging it well. Just being patient. Nice little move over the top.
It's a great,
caught under.
nice job.
Great finish. Drew Lindsay just caught sleeping as Andrew Buck cuts underneath and takes that pass.
Looked like there was a little confusion defensively there. We almost had two players sliding towards that ball once he sort of beat his man. We had an adjacent slide and another one coming in that left that alley wide open, and a nice finish there.
It was a fantastic little close finish. In and out quite quickly, and 5-2 the score. Got Callum Barrett on the far side. Big player for Silver City Lacrosse. I know they're eagerly watching and supporting back home.
I always find it interesting that one-handed face-off method that we have there for Eleanor. It was Aiden Smith.
Yeah, he's. I was gonna say he's learned to face off for this cycle, and a big thing he relies on is his physicality and his ability to bully his opponents. And that one-handed technique works for him quite often.
Yeah, it's an interesting look. I know that. I have a son who plays for the Irish national team. They had a chance to scrimmage him the other day, and he had never seen anything like it in his life. He was saying, "Did you see that guy with the one hand?" And he keeps the other hand out of the play. There's no hold going on, but I've in my sort of 30-plus years being around the game, that's something I've never seen, but it is effective for him.
Yeah, he's a really physical player, Aiden. Started his lacrosse career at Loughborough University, as did a couple of players on this Scotland team, and a couple of players across the tournament. They've got a really good programme where, they're a very well-known sports university. I think ranked top 5 globally for sports. They get a lot of rugby players that don't want to play rugby anymore and try out lacrosse, and that's what we see quite often in this international game. Tomo Rossa, another one, come through that programme. He had a great performance yesterday for Wales.
What impresses me with someone picking a game up so late, sort of in their athletic development, just in the. It's a nice shot there, big save.
It was a good screen from the Norwegian player. Ethan Swenson not clearing it.
A nice clear here.
He got one yesterday. Keeps the ball well, kicks it out to Dan McQuaid. Uncle Dan on the ball. Fun fact about Dan, he's actually got a picture of former Scotland goalie Dean Stewart on his wall. He says he idolises him and really looks up to him. So that's, you know, his lacrosse career was so inspiring that Dan McQuaid now has a little shrine for him in his apartment.
And I guess finishing my thought on, you know, picking up lacrosse later in your athletic development, I just find that, you know, for the precise sort of skill set that it takes and sort of the stick, you know, being one with your stick and catching and throwing and cradling, it's impressive to see these guys who pick it up later and the amount of skill they do have. Nice that's a great attempt right there.
Yeah, Christy McKinnon with a little between the legs shot. No one backing it up though, so Norway get the ball back.
And a reminder, folks, when we do have a shot, the person closest to the point of exit, both where and when it went out of bounds, that team will then get possession. So in that instance, Scotland had no one behind the cage, and it was a pretty easy call for the official as the goalie was the closest guy to the ball.
Oh, just watching the offside there. Does really well to just usher his player back onside and not run over. Fantastic play. Just spinning it well here. Look to get another back, Norway. Score still 5-2.
Sure. I mean, getting one here, you know, bringing it to within 2.
In tiny hands, Tom comes up with it. Good little roll, and he keeps it well. Pass it out to Joe Carrison.
Very heads-up play there by Tom.
Indeed. Morgan Brown just staying on side. Drew Lindsay yet again in the attack. He wants his goal. He's got really good handles. As I say, he plays his lacrosse out in St. John's. Just finished his freshman year. Big Man United fan, Drew Lindsay. Scotland just looking to settle it down a little bit. See Chris McKinnon really out wide in this back corner, spreading that field. Jack Crawley got 2 today, moves it well. Morgan Brown, Christian McKinnon. Tom Gilbert with a split dodge over the top, gets his hands free, kicks it back. Dan McQuaid just hitting a body inside there.
Good job.
Good ride from him though, ball's going out of play. Kept in by Jack Crawley and a timeout for Scotland. 1 minute 39 left in the half. I'm sure they'll be talking about killing the clock and getting that last shot.
It's a really nice, the last look they had was a really nice sort of look there, sort of, you know, a little curl pattern that was there. You know, had a good look at the net, knocked down in front. Funny you were mentioning someone was a Man United fan, and I live in the United States in the Boston area, and amazing how big it is over there as well. I mean, I have two sons that are huge, you know, Premier League, you know, football fans. A lot of people in the United States too, you know, love the English football.
Yeah, it really is great.
I had a chance to go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a few years back. Saw them play Ukrainian side in a friendly. Harry Kane's last time there. So
to the left of us here, father and son, Aaron and Craig Davey just walking up. They've got an off day today, Wales. I'm sure Craig's got a game later today. He's obviously part of the officiating team. But he had a blinder last night, Aaron Davey. Only conceding 4 to the Swedes. Some great clears and some great saves in that as well. So, yeah, going back to the football, it's huge over here, and there's a number of the Scotland boys that are big fans. You mentioned Tottenham Hotspur there. Jack Crawley's a big Tottenham Hotspur fan. I don't know why. I personally wouldn't support them, but someone's got to, I suppose. Coming back out now.
it is funny though, and I find it similar. Like in the U.S., I'm actually wearing a Boston Red Sox hat, and met a couple of people, and they said, "Oh, you follow the Red Sox? That's, you know, I'm sorry for you. You know, one of those Yankee fans. You get those." So I know it crosses every sport.
Just holding it well.
So just over a minute and a half left in the half.
They look to keep this defense active, but work. I was about to say work the last shot, but Crawley tries to take his opportunity there. Backs up his own shot, which is quite a rare occurrence in lacrosse. It's a big physical player, Jack Crawley.
when he gets a short stick on him. Although, great, good
He
effort
gets
too.
the flag. The ball did touch the floor, so it should have gone, but McKinnon with the little underarm ripper.
Hold.
Pole blocking that one.
Yep,
And
so it'll be a 30-second hold on Norway.
clock is still running on the bench, but it should have stopped in the last 2 minutes. I'm sure they'll reset that.
Yeah, they ran into some issues in that in the first game on the opening night where the clock didn't match up with the sort of game time versus what was showing on the scoreboard.
One thing I like about the Scotland man-up play is it is very much on the fly, and they change it time by time. They've got a few little set moves that they do, and they decide on the field what's going to work and call it and run with it. And you see different movements from players and looking for different looks as they find Christian McKinnon. He's got a cannon on him, but just hitting the upright there. Moves it back up. Jack Crawley with the shot. Backed up by Matty Raworth.
We're all even now. And that'll be the end of the half.
Half time.
So a competitive half of lacrosse here. Scotland in the lead 5-2 over Norway.
Certainly was. I think a lot of stuff for both coaching staff to talk about, but I'm sure the Scotland coaching staff will be a lot happier today than they were at half time yesterday. As you say, 5-2 the score. We will take a short little break and we will be back to you shortly. practices and they, you know, it starts to filter out by your level. Hopefully they get some more closer opponents, but it's great to see a new team out. And
Absolutely.
I know they're having a field time and enjoying the learning opportunities that come with it. So.
And just being here, being in Wrocław, such a welcoming city. Poland, like I mentioned, this is my second consecutive year of coming to this facility and this site. I was here for the under-20 European Championships last year, here again this year, and you know, they know how to host a really, you know, effective tournament here, and the town itself, wonderful. So if you ever have a chance, get over to Poland. Wrocław is a sight to see.
Certainly is. Great food as well.
Absolutely.
And cheap there. Two of my favourite things. Getting down for this face-off to start the second half. It is 5-2 to Scotland, or 2-5 should I say, as the visiting team. Really nice kit for Scotland here with the Scotland tartan on there. It's actually Scotland Lacrosse's own tartan that was designed a couple years back. Really interesting. You can read about it online. It's a failed pass across the field for Norway, and they'll hope that doesn't set the tone for this half.
I do like that accent of the tartan there up on the shoulders and the armpits. It's really, really nice. And we mentioned the other night at the opening ceremonies, they came in with their, you know, their sort of kit for that. It was really nice as well. Everyone had their, you know, kilts and family tartans. It was really something to see. Bagpipes.
Yeah, having been a part of it, it is great to uphold culture from Scotland and really sort of celebrate traditional wear. Ethan Swenson with a little dodge over the top, and that's a great little stick check as he pulls back for the shot. Something they've done really well is, as defenders, is getting the sticks in the way of the shooters and putting pressure as they go to shoot. Christian McKinnon just riding hard here.
They've been using this sort of ladder oftentimes when they're clearing up. We're going to have a failed clear here.
It's great pressure. I think that's only the first or second failed clear for Norway today.
We were saying earlier they had been so consistent. I was saying they were using the sort of the ladder up the sort of the side opposite where the substitution box is. They've been going right up the line there, stepping a long pole over and keeping someone on side. They've done a nice job of that and weren't able to connect there.
Certainly have. Tom Gilbrook, tiny hands Tom, trying to start things here. There's the ball up top. Nice little split down the alley. Gets his hands free, just moves it behind to Christian McKinnon. Shifty little player, Christian McKinnon.
Yeah, this is a good matchup for that. I would have thought they might have. So I like that little shimmy Tom has, though. It's a really nice. He sort of, you know, he could shake that. He could go to his left, go to his right. It's a really nice approach that he has.
Yeah, he's a player that's really adapted his game since starting to play sixes, starting to play box. Morgan Brown throwing it out of bounds there. I did not teach him that one. He's a player that's it's an interesting one. He's one that came through the England pathway, went and played under-20 Worlds in Limerick for England, and then decided that he didn't want to be a part of that programme and he wanted to go and celebrate his father's heritage. Now suits up for the blue and white Scotland. Good clear here from number 7. That's Einar Alstad with a great clear. Really physical and athletic to beat those riding attackers. Will McLeish played his lacrosse out in Tufts. Graduated a couple years back.
Yeah, and Tufts is right down the road from me. I live in Malden, Massachusetts. It's in Medford. Tufts Jumbos, national champions this past year. Beat Dickinson in a huge win. Excellent program.
Ben Matthews with a good trail check. Will McLeish with a block shot. Ben Matthews comes up with it now. It's a great check. Chris McKinnon will just collect that though. He'll take a bit of heat out of the ball and just nice little jump fake. Defender chirps him back. Lets him know he's not falling for it, but
he's just sort of slowing it down.
Both teams will look to make the substitutions they want now.
Yeah, these two are playing a little cat and mouse with the substitution game here.
Scotland opting to sub through the 50. There's Norway going straight to the bench, which could prove dangerous if they're found out. So if you're not coming in the same point as your attacking player, it can leave them open on a cut.
And the rain has just picked up again.
Away to Chris McKinnon, who drops it. He fights hard to get it back though. That's a push in the back.
Clear push.
And he trips his own player up. Scotland ball. Tiny hands Tom, picking it up. Ethan Swenson, he's been quite quiet today. Plays his lacrosse D3 out in Babson.
Babson again's in Massachusetts, Wellesley, Mass. Rocky Batty's the head coach there. Really nice program, phenomenal business school. Really good program. They're in the NUMAC. Perennial power there.
Good little dodge from Ethan. Gets his hands free, kicks it through.
What a save.
What a
Excellent
save.
save. Excellent save.
Stops Dan McQuaid getting his 4th of the game. Now they'll be patient with it. Ball in the back corner with Alexander Haddad. He's given time. Jack Crawley just backing off him. He's allowed to walk up the field. Scotland looking like they're sitting in a bit of a dropped ride. Crawley pressing, can't quite get there. Maybe if he did a bit more plyometrics in the lead up, he would have jumped a little bit higher, but Norway get it over.
And they do their own hidden ball trick up top. Something you see, the creativity, you see that more and more. You know, I watch teams like Syracuse, you know, back in the United States, and they do it on almost every play. They have a lot, you know, that Canadian influence, that box influence, the really nice hidden ball trick.
Joe Garrison just sending Grund Otnes under. He's been a little bit more quiet than he was yesterday.
Sure,
Otnes.
he was one of their leading guys yesterday with 2 goals, 2 assists.
I hope he can get things going in this half. The ball comes back to him now. Dodging on that pole match-up. Joe Carrison, another player who's come through Loughborough, started his lacrosse, was actually coached by Ali Trimmer, another one of the Scotland boys who unfortunately didn't make the final roster, but fair play to Joe. If I was coached by Ali Trimmer, I would have quit lacrosse a long time ago, so thankfully he didn't. Ball just behind now, Tom Gilbrook on ball. That's a great little court. Is that
23 with it.
Yeah, that's
Andrew Scott Buck.
it's a nice little patient offense, and that's what we were talking about.
That off-ball movement was really nice. You've been mentioning that. Really nice, sort of just crept in there, caught that ball on a curl. Just the keeper to beat and put it over his shoulder. Really nice goal.
Certainly was, and you know, in a low-scoring game, you'll take your time picking the right options, and they did just that there. A few little dodges, few phases on that attack. Scotland will want one back here. Nice little flip behind by Reece Jeffrey Duckin.
Gonna play on there.
Called for a hold. I think that's a good call from the official, number 33. Do not have a roster for the officials, unfortunately, so can't give you his name, but it's a great check there from Will McLeish.
Sure is.
Physical defense again. He's a big boy back there. Drew Lindsay putting that pressure on.
And again, when you have one of those situations, you know, you'll hear the official yell "play on." It's you know, someone has been disadvantaged, so Norway was entitled to the ball, and once they didn't come up with it, of course, it was awarded to Norway. So that's how it works with those sort of technical fouls when the ball's loose.
Great little trail check from Joe Carrison there. Ball thrown forward. Drew Lindsay on the break again.
We have numbers here.
He'll look to get something going. That's on the doorstep. Christian
Nice job.
McKinnon, that's his first of the day. Drew Lindsay just patient carrying the ball up there. Nice little pass between the two lefties.
And it starts in the defensive end there. It's a nice transition up the field. Great play, you know, by the D-Mitty when he sort of threw it over. Pole picked it up, comes down, and it was just like a fast break drill you run in practice a million times, and great finish by McKinnon.
Certainly was. One thing I liked on that finish there, McKinnon really used that step to move the keeper. He made it look like he was going round and really stepped across the crease and then just tucked it in that near top corner. Great finish.
it shows a lot of patience when you're in a situation like that, because you could rush it, or you could feel maybe the pressure coming, but he didn't. He was sort of equal to it. Showed, like you said, stepped across, made him think he was going around him, and he did pop it in over the shoulder. Nice job.
Certainly was. It's Aiden Smith flicking it out. I know I've talked a couple of times about his face-off journey. He got some coaching. We played Richmond in Algarve, Portugal, a couple months back, and I know he got some one-to-one face-off coaching. Coach Bagley just looking to keep possession there as Aiden gets double-teamed. It's really well to keep possession for his team. It's good physical start to the second half. Obviously, a couple goals both sides, and some really big hustle between the lines from both sets of mid. It's shaping up. Good few games on later today as well. The Israel game, Israel-Portugal has started on the field to my right. Earlier we had England taking on. I'll not tell you right now. Probably
Missouri. They do have. You see the blue from over here.
Speaking of which, I am wearing my Scott McTominay t-shirt underneath. King of Napoli. Big up the big Scott. Best player in the world. Give him the Ballon d'Or. Scotland coming out with it. Morgan Brown coming to get the ball from Emma Jones here on the near side. The official. Big congratulations to Emma and Ben Lipinski, who another one of the officials here at this European Championships, got engaged recently. Both really lovely people and some great officials. Do a lot for the game in the UK.
Yeah, I've had a chance even to just chat with some of the officials after the games locally around, in sort of the venue, and just really great group of folks.
Certainly is. Personal favourite of mine, Big Tom Hamey. I have the pleasure of coaching his two children at Wilmslow. Going to be very good lacrosse players when they're older, as soon as they get a proper coach. Ethan Swenson with the shot now.
Nice take.
That's his first of the day. Just shows his athleticism and his speed. Little stutter step, breezes past his player and just gets his stick high and away from his body and just buries it in that bottom corner.
Yeah, he sort of just had that, split to his left, and then once he got past the defender, untouched pretty much, came in, finished with the right, no slide.
Certainly was. Really good looking goal. It's just a shame he's wearing ankle socks, so it makes it look worse. I'm sure they were banned. I hope he got a fine for wearing them.
Were they the no see him type ones, the real low ones?
Yeah. Just...
See, that would be something I know that, over my way, your style or your fit, is a big thing, and sometimes I know that my kids will wear those. They like them in the U.S., so I don't know.
Yeah, it's big in the U.S., but I'm sure there was a little vote from the Scotland boys, and it was eradicated. Great little goose there from Seb Howarth. He's been a bit of an unsung hero here today. Done really well between the lines. Gets a nice ground ball there. Aiden Smith with a loopy pass over the top.
Nice
McKinnon
grab though.
Just collects it, and he'll settle it down, let his team get the right personnel on. Tiny hands Tom on the ball. Finds Quader. Uncle Dan. Ball stays with Uncle Dan. I will say that because players thankfully can't hear us. He moves on. Wasted little hidden ball trick there. Oh, Eli just getting that one. Picks it out wide, Morgan Brown. Jack Crawley back to his club teammate, Tiny Hands Tom Gilbrook. Big dodge over the top. He keeps it well, brings it back out. His defender, Arnaud Austad, does well to recover. Kicks it inside though. Oh, that was almost an own goal as the Norwegian defender just tipped it towards the keeper. Third quarter, as they go into the last quarter, at what point did he up the tempo and push the ball a little bit more? But right now, only a 4-goal game. I think they could afford to be a little bit more patient with it.
Yeah, maybe getting another one here, sort of, or getting another one between now and the end of the half, the end of the third quarter would be a benefit for them. And then, but they will have to push out at some point, both offensively push the pace and defensively push out.
Good move, ball goes inside. Morgan Brown comes up with that though. He's got the pass upfield, but chooses not to go with it. being physical on this clear. Now he goes for it. Seb Howarth, just a low pass, and he's frustrated with that. Norway get it back. Did well to avoid a few players there, Morgan, and then just a bit of a loopy pass, just falls short.
And those are those situations where, you know, you have a clear that isn't successful, and then, you know, you're giving extra opportunities to an offense that really, you know, is pushing to score. So extra chances.
One thing I'd love to say about the Scotland defence today is it's been very disciplined. I think only one penalty, I want to say, right at the start. But maybe two.
And they've all been sort of pushes or holds or things. They haven't been anything sort of any bigger ones. And that is definitely staying out of the box.
Yeah, especially, you know, they will have seen in the scout report how lethal this Norwegian extra man offense was yesterday. You know, they moved the ball so well when the man-on-man, so they've got that man advantage. They really took advantage of that. So Scotland will have been looking to be disciplined, and they've done that just well.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Norway today. I've seen Scotland before, so no surprise there in how their play's been. But really impressed with some of the skill of Norway here in the defense and just the recovery in the team defense, communication.
Swenson recovers that one. Good little roll, little dip.
Oh,
that is filthy. Tiny hand Tom with the finish, but the star of the show there, Ethan Swenson, collecting the ground ball on one knee, rolls a triple team and just sticks it for a nice little easy finish for Tom Gilbrook. He'll be happy with that. One thing I would say is, as they've come out for this, it's good to see, and it's something that Coach Steph, who played for Scotland himself back in Denver, he's the face-off specialist coach. He loves pushing them to be ready and set. You know, whether you've conceded or you've scored, it doesn't matter. We're ready to go, and we're ready to fight from the front, and chirps his orders from the sideline as his players set up a lot quicker than the Norway team here. And it pays dividends. Callum Barrett, Silver City's finest, coming down with a little dip. Eli just behind the back, can't get it to go.
I like the idea, though. There's short time. He had pressure on that side. You know,
they've called it a shot, I think.
Wow, 100% with a pass.
Well, McKinnon just trying to isolate that shorty.
10 seconds coming up here.
Ethan Swenson going, pulls it.
It's a big save right there. Oh,
off the pipe.
Crease violation.
That was a big save from Edvard Jonberg there. Really.
Yeah, we had there was no whistle to start play right there, so the ball will come back to the keeper. There'll be 2 seconds left in the quarter.
Interestingly enough, the timer on the other side is started for the next quarter. If you've not missed anything, we have not started the fourth. That's an error over there. We'll try and rectify that. You can imagine it's just a Hail Mary, send it long.
So that will not be good if it goes. It was not gone before the whistle, so that will end the third quarter.
Toby catching that one to put it on his safe percentage. You know what he's like.
I'll tell you the last goal though by Scotland, that was a beaut there. He just that spin move to a pass to a one more to a finish. It was really nice. It was just textbook passing, beautiful goal.
Certainly was, and that's an element of the game they were missing a little bit yesterday, I think, against the Swiss. You know, just that final finish. They were trying to get the looks, and people were open. When I spoke to Coach Bagley, he was saying it was frustrating watching the game back because there was plays where you could stop it at certain points and go, that's the pass, that's the pass. Sure. He said one play, there was 3 separate phases where you could point to a guy wide open with the passing lane open, and the ball just didn't get to them. And something they've changed today, and they've clearly spoke about it quite a lot in the game film, and it's working for them, making it look effortless.
Yeah, they've been sound on both sides, and that shows on the scoreboard. Scotland is leading 8-3 after 3 quarters of play. This came in, it was as advertised. We thought it would be a good game with 2 solid teams, and we've seen that. Both goaltenders making some saves, especially Norway. That last little sort of we had short time, maybe 20 seconds in the last face-off, came down. We had a huge save, then we had a pipe hit stepped in the crease, and that's how it sort of ended there. But, you know, it had Scotland scored another one of those, and they scored one late in one of the other quarters. You know, as a coach for many years, you know, if you can score late in a quarter, you know, that can be sort of, you know, backbreaking to another team. So Norway, excellent save down there, got the luck of hitting a pipe, and they avoided that.
Certainly, it's going to be a good last quarter, that's for sure.
And thank you for tuning in here on Lax TV, folks, on YouTube. We've been really enjoying our time here in Wrocław, Poland. You know, check out the schedule. There's many, many other games on tap today. You know, if you're a lacrosse fan, like myself and Fraser are here, there's lots of lacrosse to be seen across the platform, so be sure to tune in.
Definitely. Scotland coming out early here. Getting set up. Aidan Smith coming out to take that face. You've got Seb Howarth on the wing and Callum Barrett on the far side. Unchanged defence for them. Obviously, unfortunately, lost Dougie Toonian yesterday with a bit of a hamstring tweak. They'll be hoping he'll be back later this week. So the closed D doesn't change.
And these are tough turnarounds. I mean, some of these teams are playing sort of, you know, later in the day potentially, or, you know, within 24 hours. It's tough to turn around and get your body ready to play again.
I think that's definitely played a factor here for this Norway team. The sort of intensity they like to play with, particularly in defence and clearing and riding, takes its toll, and they were the second to last game yesterday.
Right.
Finished up just before 7 o'clock.
Sure, that's a short window.
Yeah, and then they're here at 10 o'clock warming up for this game today. So
I guess the one sort of caveat you can say is that the weather's been cool. It's been breezy. It hasn't been super hot. Had it been, you know.
Great fight. Aidan just textbook man ball there, letting Callum Barrett run and pick it up, and Scotland will get the first possession in this last quarter.
Yeah, he's done a nice job on the face-off today. Don't have the specific numbers, but if I were, you know, by my count, they have more wins than losses, I would suggest.
Certainly, and it's something that Coach Steph strive for. Really passionate guy and knows what it means to play for the flag. Brings that intensity. Really nice guy as well.
And remember, everyone's here as they're trying to be in the top 7 teams in this tournament. And if you're in the top 7 teams in this tournament, then you can, you know, sort of punch your ticket to go to Japan in 2027.
Dodge kicks it behind. Yeah, Scotland know that they've got steps to make if they want to do that. Obviously, taking that loss to the Swiss yesterday, which was well earned from the Swiss in the end, puts them on the back foot, and they're up against it. It's an uphill battle from here, but they're making strides in the right direction with this game today. Touch wood. Just nice and patient with it. Ethan Swenson kicks it out. Morgan Brown now.
So that's a pool of Norway, Portugal, Switzerland, Scotland.
And Israel.
And Israel's in there as well, so yeah.
That's a tough game. Be interested to see what their score is against Portugal over there.
Yes, I would be too.
If anyone watching at home can send me a text to tell me what the score is, that'd be great. Ethan Swenson with a little split over the top. Another goal for him.
That's what you call a downhill dodge right there. He came in, split right to left, left-handed shot, you know, high to low, sort of, you know, he didn't bounce it, but he sort of brought it in sort of off hip over there. Excellent take. Beautiful dodge.
He has been a big game player for them today. I know I spoke to him briefly after the game yesterday, and he was disappointed he only had the 1 goal and felt he could have impacted the game a little bit more, but he's certainly done that today.
Is that 3 up on him today, or is it? I don't have the proper count.
I think 3 and an assist.
Yeah, that was just a textbook, you know, downhill strong. He's a big, strong guy, fast, nice stride, splits right to left. Great finish.
Certainly. Shout out to Mark Cork watching at home. He's just told me it's 6-1 to Israel on the other field. Certainly running over there after this one to catch the end of that game. Nice little fight on the face-off. Norway will want to come up with it. Kick out. Seb just leaving it to Aidan there. Aidan throwing his body on the line. But
nice ground ball.
It's a great ground ball from Lars Henriksen. We mentioned earlier, he got 2 goals yesterday. Likes the ball in his stick. That's unfortunate. He's taking one for a slash. He slipped on that play there, Aidan. A check that would have landed. Just went a bit askew.
You know, that was a really, you know, it was nice because he definitely was a slash, was disadvantage. It was nice to see that the trail official had that call when the other 2 sort of right in front of them hadn't had it, but it was the right call. Excellent call.
Certainly was. They've done a great job today, as ever, the officials. Yes. Let the game flow when they needed to, but called the important stuff. Nice move. Just patient, just given that time. He kicks it down. Been a bit quiet today, Andreas Yeadon. He was obviously a big player for them yesterday.
Nice ground
Player
ball
who's
here,
not been
spin
quiet,
move.
Andrew Buck, kicks it out. Oh, just puts it wide. It's a great little roll from Andrew Buck. Gets the ground ball, just spins the slide, kicks it down. But that's unfortunate. Obviously it was a 1 minute penalty, so they've still got that extra man advantage. Here's Andrew Buck. Moving it well. Ooh. Oh, I jinxed them there, unfortunately.
It's going to get out too.
That's rough. It's getting called as a tip.
And the penalty's released as well.
Penalty released, the ball stays with
we had
Norway.
a tip, okay.
Little tipped pass. I'm not going to argue with it, they've got better angle than I do.
Absolutely.
Oh, big shouts have come on defence from the Scotland supporters. They've been vocal today.
It's a nice
Alex
help
Harper
right
gone
there.
down. That's a tough look. That's a really...
We have an injury on the play.
That's really tough to see.
Sure.
Hope the camera's panned away. I can't really see what's on right now, but all the players taking a knee. Out of respect.
I was sort of following the play as you know, I did see the Scotland player go down. Then we had, you know, great help defense by number 24, Andrew Lindsay, out of St. John's, as you mentioned earlier. Really strong. You could just
When the going gets tough, he really pumps people up.
one of those glue guys, holds the team together, you know.
Certainly
like
is. Certainly is. Ball's going to be starting on this near side with Grund Otnes. Apologies for any pronunciation errors today.
I think you're doing one.
Just over 10 minutes on the clock. If you're the coach, what are you saying at this point?
I think I'm saying, you know, from an offensive perspective, we have to sort of, we have to be aggressive. We have to take it to the net. I mean, I love their off-ball movement, but they can't really take that patient style that they've sort of been taking. They have to sort of up the tempo, I think, you know, offensively and defensively. I think that if Scotland gains possession, they have to push out, which, you know, and they may even have to have their keeper push out. Maybe, you know, I'm not sure if they have a 10-man ride in their arsenal, but they're gonna have to do something because, you know, unless you have a dominant face-off guy, you know, it's tough to. It's not impossible. We saw it the other night.
The two face-off guys have been solid today for Scotland, and the wing guys have been just as effective. So, Drew Lindsay just going in hard there. Ball comes up to Andrew Buck now. He kicks it out before Scott Wallace can engage. Grund Otnes does well. Nice help defence from Ben Matthews there. And a block shot from Drew Lindsay. Might retain it.
Andreas Johan with that, and he tried to shoot it around the defender right there, I think, and sort of, you know, which can act as a screen for a goaltender, but he did hit the defender.
Great little move. Kicks it up top. They are being a bit more aggressive with it,
Nice
and they
look
get
right
their
there.
goal
Excellent
there.
goal.
That's Grund Otnes with it. We said he'd been a bit quiet today. He was obviously a big player for them yesterday. He gets his goal, and he's hoping he can kick on from here and help.
Yeah, the previous sort of time through when he did that little face dodge, took the drive, and then it came back around. But you could see sort of they were looking to go towards him, and that was a really nice pass. It set that up and a great finish.
Certainly was. Nice little move. As we say, they pushed the tempo a little bit more. They know they need to step on the gas a little bit, and they did that, and they got a couple of good looks in there and got the goal. But Scotland will try and kill that momentum a little bit with another face-off win here. Reece Jeffrey Duncan. It's nice. I've mentioned Coach Steph a couple times. Him and Reece were actually the two face-off guys back in Denver 2014, so they've got a good relationship and get on well, and I think with that has seen Reece's game go to the next level even more than it
And that was a really
was.
nifty little pass Reece just made with the one hand, sort of came through the one-handed scoop, and his one hand sort of goose scooped it over to his teammate. That was a nice play.
Certainly. Obviously plays his lacrosse in the north of England with Sheffield Steelers. I think the thing with shorter benches that you get in Emlc is that sometimes your face-off guy does have to play offence, which is why Reece is so good with his stick skills, I think. Jack Crawley drives to goal, kicks it behind now. Dan McQuaid to McKinnon. The low angle with the lefty shot. That's gone into the fan zone.
That was a low angle shot, but a possession shot. They have the backup. They can sort of relax.
I think someone waiting at the barbecue might have had a bit of a close call there, but Scotland looking to get things going again. Christian McKinnon driving round from behind. Kicks it up well to Ethan Swenson, who has been a solid player today for Scotland. He's got the shorty matchup and he liked that.
He's realizing that now.
And they're giving him a lot of space to run at him. With his speed and his physicality, you don't want to give him that space, and that's what he does. Just turns on the jets, doesn't even engage in the contact, just drifts past his player, and yet again, a textbook high to low shot, bounces it into the top corner.
Yeah, that was a strong dodge, and as you mentioned, I mean, you sort of, almost were a soothsayer or something there. You saw it happening before it happened. You said they're giving him too much space. Strong downhill dodge, going high to low, bounce shot, lovely. Goal.
Yeah, he's a great player. Only 19 years of age, Ethan Swenson. I was lucky enough to celebrate his 19th birthday with him when a few of us went out to Philadelphia with Todd McFarlane, one of the other members of the Scotland Sport. Big face here. They need this ball, Norway. But Reece Jeffrey Duncan comes up with it again, gets the pressure, does well, kicks it out just above Eli. The one thing with this Scotland attack, they're quite short, so the passes go a little bit wayward. Got a jump for them.
He has a few inches over his head there, out of reach.
He's 6 foot with heels on, Eli. He's 5'6" without. Nice little cross-field pass there. Norway just being patient with it. We spoke about this earlier. It's what they like to do, just get it out wide, be patient, work the pass. And number 28 is wide open here on this near side. Keeper's going to find him. Chris McKinnon comes across and covers well. Scotland operating a little bit of a zonal ride here, just covering space. It's working.
And this is the part that's always a little bit foreign to me, being a North American, sort of official and spectator player. No clearing counts here. So, had I been playing in like the NCAA, you'd have 20 seconds to get over midfield. Here, you could take all day if you need to, and take your time.
You've got it now, Joey Kerrison. It's the thing, it's good to be patient, but as a Scotland team, you don't mind that clock ticking down a little bit and finally forcing the error. Sees them regain possession. Just getting the right personnel on.
Yeah, Scotland will be content to take the air out of the ball here a little bit.
Certainly. It looks like Norway are trying to be a little bit more aggressive. Short thick D-Midi playing a little bit higher up. That's Ole Stoll marking Tiny Hands Tom Gilbrook over there.
Great save.
Indeed. Shout out to Giles Davidson, legend of Scotland Lacrosse, one of the coaching staff who unfortunately has not been able to make the trip out here this time round, but he's been a key part in the process along the way, helping that defence tweak some stuff and just being general. Outstanding guy. He's watching in the office. Jack Crawley just turns that corner. He's got 2 today, Crawley. Dangerous, and he's just taking the heat out of it. Kicks it up to McKinnon, who, again's looked a very good threat. He's only 18 years of age. He's got a bright future for the Scotland Lacrosse programme. That's for sure. Now he's in talks with a few colleges. Dan McQuaid gets his hat-trick. Uncle Dan. Passing to the guard there. The young buck to the old attacker. Great little cut from behind and fantastic finish on the turn.
That was a nice sort of little left-handed take down the alley, and then McQuaid, great cut from X, sort of caught his momentum, bringing him upfield. No one stuck with him, and he put it past the goalie. Excellent goal.
Hoping his friend and idol Dean Stewart seen that one. He'll be proud over in the States. Norway just calling a timeout here. Scotland extend their lead to 10-4. 6-goal lead, 4 minutes left on the clock, just over. Norway will really look to try and put their foot on the gas here and bridge that gap after the timeout. But it comes from the face-off, really.
It does.
And they have struggled against these 2 face-off guys to Scotland.
I mean, I've seen games before with a dominant faceoff guy. I've seen people score 3 goals in under a minute. But again, it's been tough going faceoff-wise for Norway. Scotland's been pretty strong at the faceoff X, but they'll need this next one. It's imperative they come up with it.
Yeah, and Toby Cleaver-Ross has been a stud in the goal for them when he's needed to be. Don't know what his save percentage is, but it's going to be high. Fun little fact for you about Toby. He used to fence for GB when he was younger. It's quite a niche sport. Explains the massive calves. Also has the highest bench press on the team. And he will tell you about it.
Often the guys who do that will.
Yeah, jeez.
And the rain's coming down again here.
Yeah.
It sort of missed us for a little while, and it's back.
Funnily enough, at one of the training camps we had, it was horrendous weather, and Toby tried to inspire the troops and say, look, we're going to have to play against extreme weather in Poland. We were expecting it to be sun, but here they are playing in the rain. It's not quite as bad as Scottish rain, but we've got that familiarity with it. With another face-off win there, kicks it out to Seb Howarth. Just settles the ball down a little bit, takes his sting out of it, gets it down to Matty Roworth, who returns to the field. As I mentioned, played these lacrosse with Poynton this year. Won the domestic double with them, both Premiership and the Northern Flags. Couldn't quite get the treble with the game against Spencer, going the other way. Tom Gilbrook.
Given a lot of space up to him
given
there.
all the space. The defender's overcommitted on the top side. Tried to stop him making that move, and tiny hands, Tom Gilbrook, just close in. Gets that finish, his second of the day.
So that actually brings it to 12 for Scotland. But yeah, you have to get your hands. I mean, that's got to be things, and oftentimes I'll work these summer tournaments, and you'll hear, get to the hands, and that's something where no one was on his hands, no one was putting any gloves on on Tom, and he just was given too much space. And he's too talented a player. He comes in, finishes, real nice goal.
I think it speaks testaments to his dodges for the rest of the day. I think they were so conscious on getting beat top side, and he's created a lot for them, Tom Gilbrook, that defenders just took that extra step up and allowed him to just shake it and just bury that in the back of the net.
And he is so shifty that, especially if the turf's a little bit wet here, you know, as a defender, you know, at least as an offensive player, he knows where he's going. The defense doesn't, so
Indeed.
he does have the advantage.
Can we just talk about that little communication on the face-off there?
It was wonderful.
Reece Jeffrey Duncan winning it forward.
Sort of goosing it back.
Yeah, couple defenders round him, and he knew Scott Wallace was running him wide open behind him, so that little goose.
He tried it earlier and it went right to a Norwegian player, but that was a successful one. That was really nice. It was pretty.
It was nice to see Scott Wallace getting some minutes here. I know his minutes were numbered in the first game. He's new to the Scotland programme this cycle and quite new to the sport, so it's good to see him come on the way he has. Ethan Swenson with another shot. He'll be feeling full of confidence today.
I think Scotland in general is going to be feeling confident today after the effort they put out today. After, you know, they were disappointed, I'm sure, yesterday in the result. I mean, but today, you know, yesterday we said, you know, the shooting percentage wasn't very good. Today, I'd say it's much higher. A lot of assisted goals, a lot of pretty goals, and defensively they've been very sound all day.
Certainly Jack Crawley with another outside shot. He loves that no look, just grip and rip, blind hope sort of vibes. Didn't pay off that time though, but Scotland retain it. Morgan Brown, who opened the scoring today. Here's Jack Crawley.
And oftentimes, two teams won't take their foot off the gas here at the end of a game because it could come down potentially to goals. There's a goal differential tiebreaker thing,
Certainly,
I believe. So
they'll really want to run at the score, especially after taking that loss yesterday. As Norway clear it now, we have got 1 minute on the clock, 1:15 I think, but someone stood in the way.
Nice deflection there, active stick there.
Great defence. Will McLeish, been reliable today, he's been solid. He gets it forward to Jack Crawley. Sends it wide. There you go, we are in the last minute now. Scotland looking to just tie this one up. 12-4 the score. Been a great performance all round for them. A lot of positives. McKinnon just looking to turn the corner. The slide comes early to him. Pops out and passes it across to Morgan Brown. Across to Tom Gilbrook, who's looked back to his best today. Makes a great dodge, kicks it back. Jack Crawley, one more. Morgan Brown.
Nice find. Oh,
That's unlucky. That's great ball movement
That
from
was.
Scotland. I think if the pass was just a little bit more to stick from Jack Crawley, you might have seen Morgan Brown take that shot there. Just had to adjust his feet to catch it, but it's the sort of play that does fill you with confidence going into your next game. And Callum Barrett,
nice ride.
a massive hit. He's a very physical LSM. He loves to put the pressure on. And Matt Bagley just calling his final timeout. Doesn't want to lose it. Why not? He gets his playbook. See Mask, John Mask, getting his little playbook there. He'll want to draw something up. It's a great time for them to work on something that later in the tournament could be more effective.
Exactly, maybe a set play
game
that they sort of have, or if they ever, are in a situation where they need a goal, trailing, or a tie game. So it is good that they come out with something like this. They'll try to put something on paper to.
Certainly. I think it's worth shouting out. I mean, we've spoke volumes today about Scotland's defence and how physical they've been, but big shout out to Lou Cunio, who's the mastermind behind it. He played his lacrosse at Drexel, really nice guy, and he'll be proud of how physical and how aggressive his defence has been today, and keeping a team to 4 goals in a European champ. The England team as well. I'm sure he's already been fined for coaching England, but just in case, I'll throw it out on the mic and put that level.
Chris Hetler was with them as well. I know I think those two are sort of connected. They've been both.
Yeah, definitely. I know he's very familiar with the coaching staff he's got here. I think most of them work with him in Germany as well, and it's it works well. They are very passionate about it all. Just been sent a score, I think. Is this or a
Procedure.
Sent,
So that timeout went for naught. Ooh, careful. Flag on the play. Yep, that was unnecessary there. We have Rowith will have a slash. At that point, there wasn't much need for that, but for the last 2 seconds of the game, Scotland will be man down.
Just dish it across. Great little look. Shot goes behind. And that is all she wrote.
The final whistle.
Final score here, 12-4. It's been a fantastic game. A lot of learning stuff for both sides, but all in all, I've enjoyed it.
Absolutely, Fraser. Always a pleasure to work with you calling these games. Your knowledge of this program and of the game, excellent. And I just have to say, really been enjoying all of these games here, and I can't wait to get over and maybe see a few more. So
certainly, thank you for tuning in at home. We will catch you at the next game.
Thank you, Lax TV, YouTube. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm here with Ethan Swenson on the sidelines after a big victory over Norway. First off, how do you feel?
Feels good to, get back in the win column. Big loss yesterday. Really need to win out, improve our chances at making it to the World. So
speaking of your loss, you're one-on-one right now. How important is recovery to you? Because you got 4 straight days of playtime. So what are you guys going to do? How are you guys going to keep it steady?
Yeah, we wake up pretty early in the morning, stretch together, stretch after every game. There's ice baths here, and then kind of making sure we're all going to bed and getting good nutrition. Everyone has to have a water bottle at every team meeting, or else it's a fine. So yeah, we're just keeping the nutrition up. Recovery's really good. So.
And then Scotland, you guys are very into tradition, into order. What does that mean to you with the bagpipes, the kilts?
I think it's really special. Just it makes you feel like you're a part of something way bigger than just a team. It's a tradition. The bagpipes have been here for hundreds of years, kilts too. So it's like much bigger than just what's going on right now. It's for the past and the present and then the future. It's just a really big tradition. It's really cool to play. Walking out with the bagpipes, it's a surreal feeling. Yeah.
Now I'm here with the goalie from Norway, Edvard Ljungberg. So, how do you feel after the game?
I feel okay. It's a lot of the ground balls that we probably should have been a little bit better at. We lost a little bit of face-off, and we're maybe a little bit not that aggressive in the fights, and we lost a few balls there. So.
And Scotland has a lot of energy. Do you feel like you guys matched that, or is there somewhere you need to improve by?
I feel we started really good with the matchup, and then after a few goals got in, we probably lost a little bit of energy, and Scotland just keep going on. So a great team and a lot of energy in the field.
And your next game is Switzerland, which could be considered the group leader at this point. They beat Scotland. What are you guys going to do to prepare for that?
I'm probably gonna have some group talks, see a little bit of the matches, and find a way to get the energy up and be better in the ground balls and the face-off basically.
Awesome, thank you.
Commercial break. We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.